Sugar, just step into your sneakers and step behind the speakers. Your heart will keep me beating and make me a believer. Don't you want me? Don't you want me? I need some mercy on my soul right now. Give me what you got. Oh, oh, oh. Give me what you got. Oh, 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 oh. I said, roll up, yeah, come get your love. I don't care where we're dancing tonight. Just as long as you're there in the break of the light. I said, roll up, yeah, come get your love. I don't care if I'm losing my way. I'll be waiting for you as the night fades away. So roll up, roll up, roll up, roll up. Can I get an amen when the night ends? There's no winner when you're walking alone. Sliding down the last street as the day creeps. What you doing with nobody at home? Sugar, just step into your sneakers and step behind the speakers. Your heart will keep me beating and make me a believer. Don't you want me? Don't you want me? I need some mercy on my soul. Come on. Give me what you got. Oh, oh, oh. Give me what you got. Oh, oh, oh. I said, roll up, yeah, come get your love. I don't care where we're dancing tonight. Just as long as you're there in the break of the light. I said, roll up, yeah, come get your love. I don't care if I'm losing my way. I'll be waiting for you as the night fades away. So roll up, roll up, roll up, roll up, roll up. Extra touch and pull up, hand in hand for one last touch. Shake extra touch and pull up, hand in hand for one last touch. Shake extra touch and pull up, hand in hand for one last touch. Give me what you got. Oh, 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 oh. I said, tonight, just as long as you're there in the break of the light. I said, roll up, yeah, come get your love. I don't care if I'm losing my way. I'll be waiting for you as the night fades away. So roll up, roll up, roll up, roll up, roll
You're still gonna waste you, lover. No way it'll be alright. You're messing with a rogue wolf, baby. Darkness gonna break your life. No prayer gonna part.
Hello, everybody. I'm Larry Ridley, and this is the NFL on EA Sports. As we head towards kickoff, two quarterbacks will be on the field today trying to push their team to victory. It's Manning's Giants going up against Wilson Seahawks. With that, let's get you up to Seattle. We're standing by are our commentators, Brandon Guyton and Charles Davis.
Larry, EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the Evergreen State and CenturyLink Field in Seattle, Washington. Today, we've got a good NFC matchup on tap. And he's going to be out of bounds here as the run back will leave him shy of the 20-yard line. Between the New York Giants and the Seattle Seahawks. former 7th-round pick, Rashad Jennings. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. Offensively, the starters for the New York Giants, and one guy that's definitely hoping to stay on the field more this year, Victor Cruz.
And they would love to have him on the field. Just 6 games played over the last 2 seasons, starting with that horrific knee injury. And then when he came back last year, had a calf injury that sidelined him for most of the season. He's trying to get back in form, and the Giants would love to see that.
Now Manning throwing on 2nd down. Caught. It's Cruz, left side. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down. And a look at Seattle's defense.
Michael Bennett's one of the best pass-rushing defensive linemen in the game. Normally plays defensive end, but when they go to those nickel packages and he works inside, look out, offensive guards. You've got a problem.
And this is going to be incomplete.
I'm not sure we could spot any tendency here on this 3rd down. They could have run it or passed it. Either one was available. They chose to try and get it through the air, but they were unsuccessful.
Here's Brad Wing now to punt it away on 4th down. Back deep is Devin Hester. And now a low liner. I think he mishit it. Just a 25-yard punt. Not what he was hoping for by any stretch. And out will come the offense as they take over. First carry for Thomas Rawls. And he takes it across midfield to the 45. And for Rawls in his 2 playoff games, Charles, it was yin and yang. He had 164 yards in the wild card win over Detroit, but those numbers crashed down to earth against Atlanta. 11 carries, just 34 yards.
And it was that kind of a year for Thomas Rawls. Remember, he started the season injured from an injury in 2015. And then as he came along, started to gain some momentum, got hurt again. So it was a tough season for him. I think Seattle's going to continue to look to add to the running back position through the draft, free agency. They like to have a lot of runners around.
Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. They go play action here on 1st down. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete. And this offense often hinges on one of the best tight ends in the league, and that's Jimmy Graham.
I think he made up for lost time when he got to the NFL because in college, he was mainly a basketball player, a defender who couldn't score. Now he's flipped it around in the NFL. Every time he touches the ball, he's a threat to score.
So the incomplete pass brings up 2nd down. Wilson to give to Rawls. Oh, he's got some breathing room. And he's going to get this down near the 20-yard line. And the play goes for 19 yards. Gives him a new set of downs.
Whenever we meet with coaches and they always talk about wanting to establish running the football, it's oftentimes with a good tight end who can control the line of scrimmage and the point of attack, and they're becoming harder to find because the colleges are giving us a whole lot of receiving tight ends, former wide receivers who can run, not necessarily block very well. In this case, though, we saw 2 tight ends on the field, both of them with the ability to block, and they ran the ball successfully behind that power set.
So they complete the pass, and now they face a 2nd down. They go read option with Wilson. And he'll push his way up to about the 14. Give him 4 on the carry, and it'll make this a 3rd and about 2.
I do know that owners, when they watch their quarterbacks run with the football, they usually hold their breath because that's the franchise. But when you're getting that kind of a gain, hard to argue against calling it.
And here comes play number 6 on this drive. Another run, but this time it's Rawls. shreds the tackle. 4 yards on the play, and that leads to the 1st and goal.
Now, that's the way to do it. Hand it to someone with vision and good footwork, and add in a little bit of power, and you find a way to pick up first downs.
First and goal here from the 9. They'll try to run with Rawls. They'll say no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd and goal.
Partner, when it's a goal-to-go situation, if you're on the field on defense, you have to know that you may be called on to make a tackle at any time. Here, the cornerback does exactly that. Plays the run really well and makes a big play.
In motion is the tight end, Graham. Now they'll throw it with Wilson. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he will score. Touchdown, Seattle. Thomas Rawls, a 9-yard touchdown grab. And this will give the Seahawks a 7-0 lead. And the Seahawks find a way to stretch their lead. Hauschka now to send this one away following the score. This is taken about 7 yards deep. Pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. And New York set to take the field. And the first drive, 3 and out. Second possession, see if they can get a little momentum.
And oftentimes that first drive is just a feeling out process. You have some plays that you've got called and you want to see how defense reacts. It may not go terrific on the first one. Now they're ready to go. They've kind of got to look at them, got a sense. Let's see if they open things up a little bit.
If they open things up, let's see what the defense does here, too, after a good stop. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
And there's another completion to the tight end. And let's face it, it is hard to overthrow a 6'6" target.
It is indeed. Quarterbacks like their speed guys. They like that huge 6'6" target that they've got in him.
They really do, and it reminds me of what one great tight end told me once. He told his quarterback, just make sure you throw it up there. You know, kind of like put up on the top shelf where the kids can't get it.
Manning, and bringing it in right side here, Beckham. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, and it's the Giants with a football here as we begin quarter number 2, and they've got it here with a first down. Perkins on the give from Manning. And he'll only get a yard, maybe 2, up to the 46.
Brandon, it's early in this one, but Paul Perkins is a guy that I saw play at UCLA. And you know when he did his most damage? Late in the ball game. He's one of those guys that's a high-volume ball carrier and really wears people down and produces big as the game's on the line.
Had some good moments for the Giants this year. Question, though, is he just a complimentary piece going forward, or can he ever be the guy?
I think he can be the guy, but I don't believe the Giants are just going to settle for that. They're going to bring in more competition and make him earn it.
Now Manning. Cruz has it over the middle. It's a 10-yard pickup, and it moves the chains. And now the passing game here in the second quarter starting to heat up a little bit.
Don't you feel the rhythm starting to happen, right? You see it now. The confidence is starting to rise. I think now as a play caller, because that has happened, you lean on it a little bit more. You don't go totally away from running the football, but you do say, guess what? We can throw it. We can throw it well with a whole lot of confidence.
There's Perkins on first down. No gain on the play there. Second down. They were in the 4-3. Mike linebacker made a great tackle.
And when that happens, generally it means that the guys up front, the 4 down defensive linemen, have absorbed all the blockers and allowed him to run free to the football. He ends up with a textbook tackle.
And on 2nd and 10 now. Manning to throw on 2nd down. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete. They were trying to get it there to Sterling Shepard, and it's 3rd down.
The good signal callers would never go back in the huddle and play the blame game because they need those guys to protect him. But on that last one, his offensive line, they lost their leverage very quickly, and that's why they were able to get to him and hit him as he tried to throw the football and force an incompletion.
So incomplete on second down. Now they'll look to convert here on third. They'll send Beckham alone to the left side. Throwing is Manning on third down. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. He lost 2, and it brings up fourth.
I love the intelligence the defense just showed there. Read their keys, saw the screen developing, ran to it, and smothered it. What a third down stop by them.
And they're going to try for the fourth down conversion. Manning and the offense staying put. Manning indeed going for it on fourth. And this is incomplete. While we have a breather here, you and I were talking off air about the blue chip quarterbacks remaining in the NFL playoffs. You got Brady, Roethlisberger, Rodgers, Matt Ryan, the only one of those without a ring.
How about that? And that's a heck of a collection. And the one without a ring, likely to be the 2016 MVP of the NFL. So blue chip indeed.
And Brady 4 rings, Roethlisberger 2, Rodgers 1. We'll see. Can Ryan get that first? Throwing now, Wilson on first down. Quick hitter here, it's complete. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
They completed the screen on the perimeter, but boy, that was textbook defense. Exactly as you're taught to play against a wide receiver screen, and they snuffed it out for a loss of yardage.
Firing quickly here, and that's complete. They'll get 9 there as that sets them up better for third down.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
So completion on second down, that brings up third. They run with a power back. Rawls. Call it no gain there, and it leads to a fourth down. Two minutes to play here in the first half. Back to CenturyLink Field after this. Pete Carroll, no stranger to rolling the dice. He'll roll it again. Fourth down, they're going for it. Looks like the defense in press coverage here. Fourth down, here's Wilson, and it is incomplete. Let's take a quick pivot here, and I want to ask you about the Kansas City game against Pittsburgh. I certainly didn't see 6 field goals winning that. No touchdowns for the Steelers. That was an interesting affair.
It really was, and while Pittsburgh never got into the end zone, found a way to win it with 6 field goals, Kansas City did get into the end zone, but not at the time that they flat out needed to. So both of these teams were exhibiting that bend but don't break mentality on defense. And Pittsburgh, with the help of a holding call on a 2-point conversion, it tied the ball game for Kansas City, took that off the board. Pittsburgh able to escape and head to an AFC Championship game showdown with New England.
And you had a very good succinct quote to me. You said 6 field goals will not beat New England.
Not a chance in heck. Just 6 field goals beat New England. They've got to find a way to turn those into touchdowns.
Manning now on first down. He sets to fire deep. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Deshaun Shedd.
Oh, timing is everything on a route like this. He tried to drive that football into a tight spot. And if you're a little early or a little late, chances are there's going to be someone there. And sure enough, this one's going the other way.
After the interception, here's Wilson. They set up the screen to Rawls. It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up second down. Got to give some credit there defensively. They snuffed out that screen early on first down.
Really read it well, didn't they? Because they didn't bring the pressure that they expected. They covered all the passing lanes. So once you see it break down as the passer, I think in this situation, you're throwing it at the feet of your back. You make sure no one picks it off, or you throw it away. Throw it over the sideline. Don't try and freelance and try and make a bigger play. There's really no one else running a pattern that should be open.
You know, Charles, for Graham, so much concern early in the season about whether he'd be ready to play this year, what would happen recovering from the tendon. Not only was he ready, he played every game this season for Seattle.
And it wasn't just the injury concern with Jimmy Graham. It's how Seattle runs their offense. Remember, when he was in New Orleans, he could expect a ton of passes to come his way. But in Seattle, that number was going to be reduced. Would he be able to maximize what they were going to throw in his direction? And he certainly did this year, 65 catches.
65 catches, just shy of 1,000 yards, 6 touchdowns, too. And incomplete there, almost picked off. That's one you maybe expect your roaming free safety to come up with. But it's second down. Well, we've got a few seconds here. The playoffs in the NFL, chance to discuss those. Divisional round, a lot of excitement, more so than the wild card round.
Without a doubt, because think about the wild card round. All the home teams held. The games weren't that compelling, nor were they that close. Divisional round, though, we had people losing at home. Dallas lost at home. Kansas City lost at home. And the games, all exciting, seemingly coming down to the last series in each and every one of them.
And kickers playing a huge role in the Kansas City-Pittsburgh game. And Mason Crosby, of course, one of the heroes in that Green Bay victory. And the Giants will go with 6 defensive backs here on third. On third down, Wilson. And he dropped it. Now it was tipped. Altered the ball a little bit, but he dropped it. And now fourth down.
So much of this game is about leverage. We always talk about low man wins in the trenches. Well, it's like that in just about every position. And sometimes, if you lose that leverage and you're losing the battle, just jump up at the line of scrimmage and try and bat the ball away. And that's exactly what happened there.
A good return there, call it 13 yards. And the offense will come back onto the field for the 1st and 10. New York set to take the field. They go back to the air here after the INT on the left. And he's hit and taken down. Eli sacked. And now the Seahawks are going to take a timeout here on defense. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. They come up in an empty set. 4 wide receivers, 1 tight end. Now Manning. And he's got it. What a catch on the sideline. A gain of 32 that time. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. Now the offense lining up 1st and 10. So the D-line's going to spread out. Manning now on 1st down. And now the ball comes out. Manning lost it.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Now Manning throwing on 2nd down. Out on the right, this is Cruz. And he caught it up. And the Seahawks have picked it up. And he'll get this one out to the 50 to the midfield stripe. The Seahawks offense now, they get ready to come back onto the field. And from this spot in the field with the clock where it's at, you think we're just going to see a knee and that's it?
And I think in this situation, that's the proper play. But we do know there's some risk takers out there that may want to take one more shot before the clock runs out.
19.
And now he'll tuck it and run. And he's going to be taken down here as that will lead us to the end of the first half of play. First half in the books. You're watching the